the gaps between traditions and modernity, and how to make the traditions of our Shastra Paramparas, knowledge systems, communicable to the modern man. This is one issue. And the second issue involved with it, as I understand, is to find out the practicability of our traditions, of our knowledge systems, and the relevance to the present day world. Dr. Arpita Tripathi and Govinda Das have spoken very well. They have really raised some very salient points. And it is true, as they say, that Sanskrit is not something fossilized in past. It's a continuous flow of living traditions which continue still today, and the efflorescence breathes with vibrations. So, of course, we have also to bridge the gaps, if there are gaps between traditions and modernity, and to find out the relevance of the traditions. And the next step will be to chalk out programs of multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary nature to make these traditions more relevant, more practicable. At the outset, I would like to say that the inquiry into the genesis of our Shastra Paramparas or our knowledge systems, or in the whole tradition of knowledge that India represents, an inquiry into these traditions should be made to resolve the problem first. The genesis of these traditions, the genesis of these knowledge systems, how they have started in the past. So I would first like to say a few things on how these knowledge systems, these traditions of knowledge have started. And to me, it appears that they have started from the understanding of a unity of universe. From one, many spring out. This is the understanding. And the Upanishads say, Ekoham Bahusyama. The Supreme Being is one. And the whole cosmos is one, pervaded by the Supreme Being. So there is only one reality, and that reality expands itself in manifold ways. So the multifarious nature evolves that way. Upanishads say, Ekoham Bahusyama. Bahusyam. So I am one, but I want to make myself many. So this expansion is for fulfillment. If there is only one, then there is isolation, and there is no bliss, no joy. He is content within himself. So to expand himself and to evolve himself, so that one being appears in many forms, and because of that, one system expands in many systems. So there are manifold systems, there are many knowledge systems, and there is whole diversity. So from unity there comes diversity. This is the view of the genesis of our knowledge systems as it appears to me. So there is diversity and manifold evolvement of systems, and these various systems then again seek their connectivity to the oneness and to the unity from which they have sprung. So this is the continuous process of evolving, expanding, expansion, and then contraction, reaching towards the roots, going back to the unity where all it began, where all this began. So this is the history of our knowledge systems. And in the West, the knowledge systems have not perhaps evolved that way. So therefore there is a dichotomy. So we have always been connecting to the roots, to the beginning, to the unity from which everything is started, and we have been expanding, our knowledge systems have been expanding. But then there is a contraction also. There is again samahar and sankshepan. So this is the process. So we can say that it is not only unity in diversity, as the slogan from Nehru era was going on. So it is diversity in unity as well. So the unity evolves in diverse ways, and the diversity lies hidden within that oneness, and the diversity manifests. Then it is manifold nature of the knowledge system. So one want to become manifold to expand, and this from this that expansion again one want to resume, go back to his own self. So Sanskrit traditions, as we understand them, or knowledge systems which have been originated from Sanskrit traditions, they have developed this way. Veda stands as the basic source of these traditions, and how the knowledge systems have developed. There was only one Vidya. If we trace out the history of Vidyas, we are told that there is only one Vidya in the beginning. Then there are three Vidyas: Anvikshiki, Trayi, and Varta. Anvikshiki is the only Vidya in the beginning. Then that one Vidya, Anvikshiki, is pondering upon oneself. How can I expand myself? This was the beginning of the Anvikshiki. That was the only one Vidya. Then that expanded into threefold nature, Trayi, Varta. Then Kautilya added the fourth Vidya, Anvikshiki, Trayi, Varta, and Dandaniti. Then from 6 Vedangas were added, and 4 other Vidyas were added, so it became 14. So Angani Vedas Chatvaro, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vistara, Dharmashastram, Puranam cha Vidyas Tetash Chaturdasha. In this way, from 1 to 4, 4 to 14, from 14 to 18, and in Chandogya Upanishad we find enumeration of 19 Vidyas. I don't want to read out that long passage where Sanat Kumara is approached by Narada, and Sanat Kumara naturally asks, "What have you studied?" So Narada says, "I have studied Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharvaveda, Ityas, Puran, etc., etc." So far as I could count, there are 19 knowledge systems enumerated in Chandogya Upanishad 7.1, and again in 7.4 they are repeated by Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara says that, okay, you have studied Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, etc., etc., but these are only names. You have not done upasana. You have not done upasana to go back to the roots of all these systems. So there is expansion, as the Upanishads point out, that from one many spring out. But then again there is a call to return to the unity, and Sanat Kumara, when Narada says that I can't understand the basic unity of all these systems, said Uddalaka also asked his son Shvetketu that, have you learned that thing through which you can understand the basic unity of all these things, that only one thing is there which percolates everything? Shvetketu said that, no, I have not learned that Vidya. So we have always been going to the oneness, to the basic unity. This is the spirit. So from 1 to 4, 4 to 14, 14 to 18 or 19, and then with the expansion, there is a search to seek modern relevance. So this is not the question of 20th century, 21st century also. This question has always been raised, just as there is a question how to seek the basic unity behind all these multifarious systems, as Narada asked, as Uddalaka asked Shvetketu. But have you understood that basic thing which binds them in a unified design? So that is there, but with the expansion, there is also another question, how to bring these manifold knowledge systems at par with our times, how to seek their relevance in our times. So this question is not today's question. Even in 10th century, we find a search to investigate upon the relevance of the knowledge systems, and to make the expansion even more even more relevant, you can say, or even more useful for the beneficiaries. So in Shukracharya then enumerates 32 systems. Then we see that each knowledge systems develops into several sub branches. Vedanta, there is only one Vedanta, of course, and the essence of Vedanta is only one. But then is Advaita, Dvaita, Dvaita, Shuddha Advaita, and there are perhaps hundreds types of Vedantas, and that all of them are coming out from one text, that is Brahma Sutra, and Bhashyakaras are there. So Shukracharya enumerates 32 Vidyas. So now from 1 to 4, 4 to 14, 14 to 18 or 19, from 18 to, in Shukra we say, in 9th, 10th century there are 32 Vidyas. And some Vidyas are being evolved or being added to make the traditional knowledge systems more relevant to the modern, to the contemporary society. In Shukracharya's list there is a Yavan Mat. There is a Yavan Mat. And he says this is also a Vidya. And he recommends that the students in Gurukula, the Brahmachari, should be taught Yavan Vidya. What is Yavan Vidya? He says that only one God, they believe only one God, not any other deities, many devas. There is only one text, one prophet, one God. What is this Yavan Vidya? It is Islamic philosophy. So before the Turks and Muslims came as invaders, we could, because of our contacts with Arab world, Panchatantra is being taken to Arab countries. There are contexts of knowledge systems, Arabian Jyotish and mathematics. It is being learned by some of our astrologers, like the Tajik system and Ramal system. They are being studied by our Jyotirvidas or our astrologers, and our mathematics and our Panchatantra and other texts are being learned by the Arabian people. So because of this contact, we felt the necessity to understand their philosophy. So Shukracharya said that Yavan Mat should also be considered as a Vidya to be taught in Gurukulas. Then he says Alankara. Alankara is aesthetics, as he defines. This is a new Vidya being added. It is suited to the times because there is the whole aesthetics is developing. There is Kam Sutra is there. The men of taste, the citizens, they want to live a life of, they want to live a beautiful life of aesthetic pleasures and aesthetic experience. The Rasa theory has come. So the Rasa Shastra is there. So Alankara means here aesthetics, because the Alankara, the way he has defined, the way Shukracharya has defined, Samanunanudhikatve, etc., etc., anything designed in real proportions, which gives the idea of a symmetrical design, means Alankara. So it is aesthetic as defined in the Western tradition. So in 9th, 10th centuries, we included many other Vidyas in these 32 Vidyas, like Desh Bhasha Gyan. India is a multilingual country. So the student should learn many other languages and their knowledge systems, because each language has a knowledge system. Each language has many traditions of knowledge systems, like Tamil. They are having contacts with Tamil also. Kumaril Bhatta says that there are words of Tamil in Sanskrit. It is Kumaril Bhatta who is saying in 5th, 6th century. he comes from south. So in this way, because there is interaction at linguistic level, India being a multilingual country, different knowledge systems being developed through various languages, they are interacting with each other, and there is a interaction between languages also. There is a adan pradan and give and take of vocabulary from Sanskrit to Tamil, Tamil to Sanskrit also. Even Prakrit words are coming in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit words are going in other languages. So because of this interaction of languages, interaction at linguistic level, and interaction with at the level of knowledge systems, there develops an interdisciplinary approach even before medieval period in India, even in the beginning of the Christian era in India. And Shukracharya very clearly indicates how interdisciplinary approaches are being adopted to develop various other new knowledge systems in the Gurukulas of that time. He said that these are the 32 Vidyas which are to be taught in the Gurukulas. Then 64 Kalas are separate from these 32 Vidyas. Kalas are skills. They are for practical purposes. They should also be taught as per their relevance to the students, to the ladies, to other people who who want to join different professions. So Shukracharya gives a testimony of interdisciplinary approach to knowledge systems in 9th-10th century, and with this we have to develop these knowledge systems in our times. I think time is running very short. Can I take 5 or 10 more minutes? So there is one very important subtle point raised in Vishnu Dharmottar Purana regarding the interdisciplinary approach to different subjects. So how to search the basic unity, as I said. There is a multifarious nature in the development of knowledge systems, but there are something lying behind which binds them in a unified design. So that is a philosophical postulation that Paramam Brahma was there in the beginning, and he thought that I would expand myself into manifold forms. But considering the nature of various vidyas, we have to search the unified design behind these vidyas with different approaches also behind various scientific systems. If there is botany, geology, and medical science, there can be something which binds them in a unified design. The human body, or study of human nature or human body, something like that. So in Vishnu Dharmottar Purana, which is the most gigantic or encyclopedic kind of work on arts, including painting, architecture, iconography, dance, and all these sutra texts are there in Vishnu Dharmottar Purana. Chitra Sutra, Pratima Lakshan, and Kavya Lakshan, and Natya Lakshan, and Nritta Sutra, all these are there. But in the beginning, there is a question which brings out how to investigate upon the basic unity to understand the interdisciplinary nature of these various sutras, Chitra Sutra, or the art of painting, or Pratima Lakshan, the art of iconography, or architecture. Vastu Vidya is also there. So King Vajra approaches Markandeya, and he asks, I want to create a temple, and there I would install some pratimas. So I want to understand Pratima Lakshan. So Markandeya says, a person who doesn't understand Chitra Sutra cannot understand Pratima Lakshan. Chitra Sutram na janati yastu samyang naradhipa Pratima Lakshanam vetum na shakyam tena karhichit. A person who wants to who wants to understand the art of making idols or pratimas should learn how to make good painting. So he should study paintings also. Then Vajra says that, tell me the characteristics of the Chitra Sutra. Then Markandeya says, Vinatu Nritta Shastrena Chitra Sutram Sudurvidam. Without learning the art of dance, one cannot understand the art of painting. And without learning the art of dance and painting, one cannot understand the art of iconography or Pratima Lakshan. What is the basic idea behind these three arts? He says, Jagatonu Kriya Karya Dvayoropi Yato Nrapa. Anukrati, the element of the process of Anukrati is there behind all these arts. So Anukrati doesn't mean imitation or copying. Anukrati is a creative process which was first defined by Aitreya Mahidasa. Aitreya Mahidasa says that there are two types of Shilpas, Dev Shilpa and Manush Shilpa. And Anukrati of Dev Shilpa is Manush Shilpa. So this whole universe is Dev Shilpa. The whole world created by God is Dev Shilpa. And a human being, by making Anukrati of this given world, makes something new. He creates something new in the form, in the shape of a idol, a painting. That is Anukrati. So creating something new on the basis of the things given by the God in this world, it is not simply copying out. So you create something anew, and the experience of rasa, how it leads to that also Mahidasa talks in Aitreya Brahmana. So this Anukrati, the concept of Anukrati, which is somewhat different from the Aristotelian idea of imitation, or in the Western realistic theories, that lies behind all these arts. This is what Markandeya says there. And then King Vajra says that teach me then this Natta Shastra also. Then Markandeya says that without learning the percussions, without learning the playing of drums or instruments, you can't understand, without, if you can't understand the rhythmic patterns, you won't be able to teach dance to anybody. So you should learn the percussions or drums or instruments. Then he said, teach me Atodhya. So Atodhyam yo na janati tasya nrattam sudirvidam. Atodhyena vina nrattam vidyatena kathanchana. Then he says, okay, teach me how to play the various musical instruments. Then he says, without learning music or singing, the art of singing, you can't learn instrumental music and you can't learn anything. Then for learning music, you should understand what is Varda, what is Shabda, what is poetry. So eventually, Vajra says that, and teach me language and grammar. So it begins, the whole Shastra begins from grammar or word. So the search of basic unity leads to leads to an inquiry which searches for the basic unity between various disciplines. In this way, our ancestors found out how to search basic unities and to adopt a multidisciplinary approach, and how to make the traditional knowledge systems more relevant for the contemporary society. In this way, if we can expand the knowledge systems, we shouldn't simply talk about Nyaya, Mimamsa, the depth of their categories, how they have discussed the Acharyas, Gautam, Kanad, Kapil, etc. But we should see how new disciplines are coming out of these traditional disciplines. In 20th century, there are new disciplines coming out, and these new disciplines are connected to the traditional knowledge systems. They have developed, of course, from traditional knowledge systems like comparative linguistics, comparative mythology, comparative religion. These new disciplines are coming out. Without the knowledge of Sanskrit based knowledge systems, these new disciplines couldn't have been possible, and they are very important disciplines. Translation studies and the Sanskrit knowledge system should be developed with a view to enrich the translation studies. Now Sanskrit scholars have not approached this area of translation studies. Anuvad Vigyan is a very important subject now, being taught at global level in many universities. Then comparative aesthetics, this is also a very important discipline. So it develops from our Alankara Shastra, and the idea of Alankara is given by Vamana and Shukracharya, which combines, which envelops the whole concept of aesthetics, that can be further expanded and brought to modern age. So these are some of my vague ideas to bring traditional knowledge systems communicable to the modern society. With this, I come to the end of my lecture. Thank you very much for giving me a very patient hearing. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद.